Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Space, and coming on today with an art journal page. So this is Mission Inspiration September. So I've just shown you there, I gessoed my page to start with. I'm working in my altered wine book, which is actually now two smaller books because I split it down. That's a whole nother story. Hence why I can see a bit of text in the background. So I gessoed my page before I started with Mission Inspiration. First step is use alcohol inks or sprays. So those are homemade alcohol sprays from Sharpie markers. So I just sprayed a blue, a green and a yellow on my page and just blotting it with a bit of paper and doing it with the heat gun. If you haven't heard of Mission Inspiration, it's an 8-step process, like a recipe to create a page. The steps are very vague, so you can interpret them how you like. And there's some suggested colours and suggested words I'll get to in a minute. So the second step was paint without a brush. So I decided to finger paint, and I enjoyed this part of it immensely. So I've just got some acrylic paints there, assorted styles. One's an Audi paint, that's the black one. There's a Kaisercraft one, which is like an off-white. There's a white, can't remember what brand it is, and there's a Martha Stewart, more of a cream. So just wanting to, one of the words was, or the words for inspiration, you can either use them or not use them, is villain, vagabond, venture, valor, and vision. And vision sort of caught my attention. So vision as in eye. So I decided to do a big eye across the page. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. I just felt like it. I don't know. Let's get a fun out of those puns. I like doing that. That's funny. Why an eye? No idea. I was just sitting here that night and decided, let's paint a big eye. So just using the finger paint, using the acrylic paint, I used a Sharpie marker just to sketch out a rough eye shape and just trying to fill in some of the detail and give it a bit of shadowing and depth, so it just doesn't look flat on the page. As I'm finger painting with about 3 different fingers, I'm trying to keep one finger for black, grey paint, like the dark colours, and then the other couple with the lighter colours. So I keep going over that. There's the eyebrow. So it's more of a stylized eye. It's not supposed to be realistic. It's more, yeah, not cartoony, but yeah, stylized. So trying to, as I said, get a bit of definition and shading happening in the places that would be shaded, in the corners of the eye and on the eyeball itself. So I'm really happy how this page turned out. It's probably one of my favourite art journal pages, and possibly one I'll look at reproducing. This would make an awesome postcard or a printed out card to include in Happy Mail and reuse in my art journal. I don't know how I'd reuse this in my art journal, but cross that bridge when we come to it. And because the alcohol inks are alcohol based, the acrylic paint or the water medium I'm putting on top is not reacting with the colours, which is really good. Otherwise I'd have a sloppy mess. If they were delusions or something, they would all soak through the paint. So just drying that. Sometimes I dry between layers. Sometimes I come back. I'm not sure whether I've done. But I had so much paint for the eye. Okay, so we're on to step 3 now, and step 3 is use a household item. So I'm sitting there going, what am I going to use for a household item? Then I had this brainwave. My eye needs eyelashes. So I run to the kitchen and read a fork. I probably would suggest using a plastic fork instead of a metal one, but I did wash it up after I decided to stick it in the paint. So basically just put some black paint out and using the fork like a stamp just to do some eyelashes, and I love the effect. So this lady has been using lots of mascara and got really dark eyelashes. I told you I had fun with this page. Even I've got it open on the desk beside me, and I just love it. It's just awesome. So just trying to dry up the eyelashes. I think I'll do a bit more of this finger painting. It was very relaxing and very nice, and just what I wanted to do. Okay, where are we? Step 4. Resist gel medium and a stencil. So gel medium, when you apply it through a stencil, it acts as a resist, so a resist will resist other mediums you put on top of it, and it will be sort of a shiny look. So I grabbed this stencil. It's one of mine that I designed and sell in my web store, on my website. It's always linked below. And I sort of was trying to get the, the glint. Sometimes when you take a photo or people paint a eye, you get that reflection of light or a glint in the eye. That's what I was sort of going with. So I'm using some Liquitex, not Liquitex, sorry. What's that? Matisse heavy body gel medium. It's like really thick. I think it's either really old and thick or it's just really thick. It does have high viscosity on it. I always struggle with that word. In other words, it is quite thick. So just drying that off, it does take a while to dry. So just place that around. You can sort of see it when you turn the page. Sorry for the crinkly, I was just grabbing my book. Step 5 is spray, drop, or blow ink. So I actually couldn't find my drawing ink I usually do this with, so I grabbed my re-inker for my Ranger ink pad, and it didn't work as well as I wanted. I ended up blotting it. So I sort of wanted to do some black specks in the eye. Just, I don't know, for no other reason. But it didn't blot, and it actually took I left this page on my desk open all night after I went to bed, and the ink was still wet in the morning, so it was a bit of a fail, but I managed to get it dry. So I do like the result of that. So it has resisted in some spots, and it is a permanent ink, so I can go over it with other things. So step 6 was added geographic, can't read my writing, had a geometric shape or two. So I grabbed my 1 inch and my 3/4 inch circle hole punch, and again I was trying to capture like the glisten or the reflection in your eye. So I stuck those down with a bit of liquid glue, and then just scribbled on them with a fine liner just to give them a bit more definition. I didn't want them to be stark white against the page. Now I think this little bit I left in when I ran to get my glitter glue, because step 7 was use metallic shimmer or glitter. So I didn't really want to add too much glitter to it because I wanted it sort of to be in the same neutral tones. So I grabbed some Kindy Glitz or glitter glue and just squeezed a little bit on and roughed it around with my finger just to give a hint of glitter when you sort of move the page, but I didn't want it overpowering as well. So that was step 7, and step 8 stumped me a bit until I was flicking through a book. Okay, so add an element from nature. I'm going, what can I add from nature for an eye? So I was flipping through a few books and magazines, and I found this picture of a flying bird. I thought, oh, wow, birds have really cool eyes. Why stick a bird on? I really don't know, but I love how it looks. Then I get out my Dymo label maker, and I write out a quote that says, compared with mammals, birds have relatively large eyes to avoid collisions. It was a much longer quote that I googled. I googled birds and eyes quotes on the internet, and it was a much longer quote, so I did chop part of the quote off, but I thought that was hilarious. Probably really doesn't go with my sort of almost realistic eye, but as you can tell, I was in a weird mood that night. So just adding a bit of adhesive behind, because it's got behind it stickers from my label machine, because it's going over paint and gloss medium and gesso and all that sort of good stuff. So eventually the quote I put down is, compared with mammals, birds have relatively large eyes to avoid collisions. Then I left it at that, so I sat there and go, I'm finished. So I grab oh no, I'm just drying those off. I grab a black texture and do a bit of defining around the stickers just to make them sort of not look like they've been stuck on the page and sticking out like a sore thumb. Then I think I'm finished. Then I take the same black marker and just do a few doodly lines just to define around the eye and around the parts of the eye. It just needed a bit of definition, and I also go around the words. I just said I went around the words. At this point I'm sort of thinking, do I need to add anything to the quote? And I decided to add in the sky. So I do add that in a minute. But I'm in love with this page. It's probably my favourite page this year. Some pages, some art journal pages I do, and I love the process. I enjoy the process. I get to the end and go, oh God, I don't like it. But this one, I enjoyed the process, and I enjoyed the time, and I just love the end result. It is just awesome. So here we go. I added in the sky because I felt it needed it. Whether it did or not, I don't know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.